Ladies, gentlemen, and raiders of all arcs, one thing every single person who plays this game has in common is they breathe air. Another thing is that they enjoy the feeling of looting through a room and finding those high value or even just interesting, intriguing, usable items. Whether you love the PvP side of the game, the PvE side of the game, or a healthy mix of the two, no matter your goals, looting is at the center of it all really. It's very important to the gameplay flow of Arc Raiders from raid to raid. There are a number of ways to increase your loot quality or loot chances in Arc Raiders, like running major conditions, but one of the best ways is simply knowledge. If you know where good loot can spawn, if you know potential spawn locations of things like weapon cases or hidden high value areas that aren't marked on your map, like the rooms that require breaching doors to get into or rooms that require some sort of parkour to get into, these places tend to be extra good because they aren't marked on the map for what they are. And if you have not found them yourself or seen someone like me talk about them, I suppose, you wouldn't know to look in those places to begin with. So today we're going to go over a bunch of lesser known and lesser traveled spots like this so you can work them into your knowledge of the different maps, and so if you're walking by one of these areas, you know that it's worth looking into. Let's go map by map with this then and start with Damn Battlegrounds. I've talked about this specific one in the past a fair bit, but it still absolutely deserves mentioning on this list because I still never see anyone go there and it still does absolutely work. Over here at the end of the broken down bridge on the northern side of the map here, you can walk up to the end of the bridge, turn around 180 degrees, and slowly backpedal off of the ledge. As soon as you drop off, hold forwards and hold the vault button, and if your angle was good, you should pop right into this hidden little cubby inside the edge here. This is intended to just be gotten with a snap hook, but you can do it this way and get around that entirely. This spot can have weapon cases, medical bags, ammo cases, grenade cases, all kinds of various goodies can spawn in here. It's just a general good raider container spawn, and I'd say around half the time I go here there is a weapon case specifically, which is the proper value you're after. South of this then we have the floodgates, and these are a bit more known, so a bit more dangerous, but I don't think that they are known enough for it to be a proper issue, quite yet at least. There are multiple entrance points for here, but just to show you a nice, easily accessible one, from the northwest side of the control tower building, from the actual corner on the outside, there is a door here. Open the door up, go down the stairs, and there will be controls for some deployable bridges. Interact with the controls to lower the bridge in front of you, and then there is a breachable room across the bridge with higher than average value loot, including a potential weapon case spawn in this first one, but there's another smaller, lesser value breachable door room 2 more bridges further on if you keep going, but this is the big important one here. Another really good spot is right here on your map on the dam. This spot is a raider camp, and a lot of people don't realize that usually the raider camps that have these little towers actually have a decent chance of weapon case spawns up near the top of the tower, either inside of the tower itself or adjacent to it, like this one here, which can spawn on top of a pipe just off of the railing itself. There's also this corner all the way down in the south. It is super far away from pretty much anything else on the map, but there are 2 separate potential weapon case spawns in here, as well as some relatively high value sort of containers around the place too. On the first floor of the big cylindrical tower here, on this desk, this is a potential weapon case spawn location. Then you can either parkour your way up to the second floor, or if you have a snap hook or a zip line, you can use that to get up here easier. And then up on this shelving unit up top is another potential weapon case spawn too. Then the last spots that I want to mention for Damn Battlegrounds, this spot all the way over here is called Water Towers. It's a sort of grouping of 4 towers. The one on the bottom left here and the one that's under the word here, but it's right here on your actual map when you're in game. These 2 towers both have potential weapon case spawns actually on top of them. The only way to get up to either of them, from what I'm aware of, is by using either a snap hook or a zipline, though I don't think there's a safe way down without taking damage with the snap hook specifically, but obviously a zipline does go both ways. Either way, that's 2 separate weapon case spawns that are very rarely taken if they exist, as long as you are willing to commit a little bit of utility to check. Again, snap hook is the easiest way if you have one, just make sure that you do bring some extra bandages for when you hit the ground. Moving on to the buried city then, I've got a lot of spots here, most of which you can find in my blueprint farm videos if you want to just see general weapon case locations around the map and stuff like that, but to add one more to that mix, there's the basement of the parking garage building right between space travel and a hospital. This building isn't marked as being high value, but the bottom floor only has 2 ways to enter. It's essentially a basement that is sort of hidden away, and it's a raider camp with weapon case spawns and general high value loot inside. The first way to get down here is one that anyone can do. From the lowest floor of the parking garage itself on the south corner of the building, there's a breachable door. Open the door, slide down the rope, and now you're in that underground raider camp. The alternative, faster and quieter way is if you have access to a snap hook specifically, you can walk up outside of the northeast corner of the building right here, and one of the windows on the basement floor is actually open. You can't climb in there normally, but you can use a snap hook to get in there quite easily and then enter the room without having to do the breach, which also gives you a lot of safety, as you then know that no one can come in the room without either loudly breaching or using the snap hook through the same window. And I've had some awkward situations from doing that, but it's still worth doing. Past that, just to go over some areas I have mentioned in other videos, but again, worth knowing about in case you don't. This spot right over here on the north side of Murano Station. Right here is a breachable door on the western side of the structure. Break into the room, potential weapon case, grenade case. I've seen medical duffel bags and ammo cases in here too, and there's 2 increased value breach containers as well. There's a trio of potential weapon case spawns that are super easy to check if you know about them. One of them is in the attic of this building here. You can see the open window even on the map itself. This will be open by default, and you want to go into that window, and immediately in front of you when you do, that is a potential weapon case spawn in the area. Afterwards, jump back out of the window and drop down to ground level to cross the street to the building right over here. There is a window that you can enter, and inside of the window immediately on the right is a potential weapon case spawn. After that, you want to exit that building back out the same way you came, cross the road like this, and go into this building's window here. In front of you after you enter in here will be a rope that you can ride all the way up to the top floor. Ride that rope up, walk through the hole in the wall, and you will find a kitchen countertop that also has a potential weapon case spawn. After checking that, turn around to the hole in the wall and exit using the scrap metal bridge thing over to the roof, then drop down to the lower layer of roof, and from here there is a zip line that goes all the way across like this. Ride the zip line, and then you want to jump off right around here, as this is pretty much the only way that you can get into this room on the right here is through parkour, which makes it an increased high value area in general. There are 2 potential weapon case spawns in this room. There are potential grenade case spawns, medical duffel bag spawns, suitcase spawns. I've seen a whole lot of stuff in this room, and I've gotten a whole lot of value from being here, and I think I've only ever come across this room being already looted when I got here one time since launch of the game. The other 2 I want to mention here have definitely become more populated the last few days, so be a bit more careful going to these. This spot right here, this building with a little tower on top, the top floor of the building has a breachable door into a room that has a bunch of containers that are all increased value because of the breachable doors. South of this building then is this U-shaped building here, and the secret room is in the south building right here. You can only enter by jumping into the 2nd floor window, which you can do from across the way. If you jump out of the north building here's top window, then you can just jump right across into the 2nd floor window and go right in. There's a couple of potential weapon case spawns in here and lots of other high value containers around too. Moving on to our next map then, let's talk about Spaceport. Just a few that are really worth mentioning here. The vehicle maintenance building here on the southwest side of the building has 2 good spots. On the 2nd floor, up the stairs from the ground level, which you can easily find inside the building, there is a potential weapon case spawn on this couch over here. Then if you go up 1 floor further on that same corner of the building, there is also a breachable door room that has a bunch of high value containers inside of it that you can loot while you're here. This spot here, over on the side, is a tower that you can ride a rope up into. This one is a little bit more known, but it's a very high value area for such a small spot. There's a security locker if you have a security breach. There's a potential weapon case spawn in here too, as well as multiple other containers that you can loot here as well. This exact spot over here then in the fuel lines, This exact spot here in the fuel lines area is a pipe that is vertically sticking out of the ground. It is the only one of these that looks like this as far as I'm aware, and inside the pipe is a potential weapon case spawn. Then over here to the north of where we just were is another one of those towers, just like the previous one. There's a rope you can ride up to the top, there's a security locker inside if you have the related skill, there's a potential weapon case spawn in the room, and then some other valuable containers too. Then, after this, we have the arrival building, and this is a red loot zone. This is something that people obviously generally know about. There are two breachable doors on the ground floor on the outside of the building on this side. Both of these areas are high value loot zones. The bottom one of the two can have a weapon case spawn in it as well. There's also a breachable door room on the second floor in the southern corner of the building, which can also have a weapon case spawn inside of it too, and those are all worth knowing about, but those are much higher traffic, and that's not the point of what we're doing right now. Instead, the less trafficked one in this area is on the very southwest corner of the building. There is a ladder that you can climb up to the roof, and you can do this a lot safer than you might think because it's not the part of the building that people go to loot. You can climb this all the way up on the roof, and then right over here on the roof you will find a potential weapon case spawn. You can have medical duffel bag spawn here, you can have grenade cases spawn here, and you usually have an ammo case as well. This is just a nice, pretty much free spot that you can loot, and then you also have a height advantage on anyone in the area too. Next up then, let's talk about Blue Gate. This one has a lot of quite well-known areas. I do feel the need to mention that the breach room underneath the reinforced reception in the underground, down the road from here into the little lobby, and then around through the yellow marked door on the right, and then there's a breach door in front of you, and this room has fantastic loot. It has unusually high blueprint drop chances, though most of them do seem to be light stick blueprints, with a slight lean towards augment blueprints frequently appearing in here as well. But this has become much more of a contested loot spot the last few days. Alternatively, also in the underground, do the computer interact puzzles, the supply drop equivalents that are down here. They will show a color on the screen after a few seconds, follow the equivalent marking on the wall that matches that color that was shown, and you will find the actual loot when you can locate the actual location of the sound. These vary quite heavily in value. I've had ones where I just haven't gotten a single weapon from it, but I've also had ones of these like this where I find 2 separate tempests at the same time, so they're absolutely worth doing if you are in the area already. As well, one more spot in the underground right here in the northeast side of this area is another breachable door room. Still quite high value spawnings in here, a lot of good loot. It's a little bit less good than the other one down here, which is why it's less traveled by players, but it's still quite good and less busy. It has multiple breach containers, a medical bag up on a shelf, suitcase spawns can happen in here, and there's stuff all over the shelves to pick up too. Then aside from that, the above ground section of Blue Gate, the highway collapse section of the map over in the southwest, has a number of potential good spawns in it. On this spot right here on the highway itself, there is a bus right where the highway breaks. Inside of this bus, by the driver's door, is a potential weapon case spawn. Then down from the bus, you can get into the structure of the broken part of the highway itself, and in here is a potential raider container spawn too. Not weapon cases, but stuff like medical bags, grenade cases, those can all be in here as well. Forward on the highway then, there's another spot where it sort of breaks apart and you can enter this long sort of tunnel area, and this has potential raider container spawns too. Again, no weapon case in here, but stuff like raider backpacks, which can still have decent loot if you're here already. Then the final spot is all the way at the western end of the broken highway. You can do the same thing here that we did on damn Battlegrounds, actually, as surprising as that is, which is to face back towards the highway, backstep carefully off of the ledge, hold forwards and vault button after falling, and you can pull into this underhanging area here, which consistently seems to have grenade cases, and I've gotten some good stuff from here before as well. There are nowhere close to as valuable as the stuff in the underground area, just to be clear, but I have never seen a single other player go for any of these spots in this area, and this is otherwise a part of the map that people just run through without actually getting any loot. So I thought it was worth letting you guys know, in case you end up here during a raid, that there is stuff, and this is where it is. Worth mentioning as well, I don't know if you can get down from this spot safely without a zipline, so be ready to use some healing if you do go for this one. Finally then, Stella Montis, and this is actually a super awkward one because honestly like 90% of this map is one big high value loot zone that everyone goes to and everyone fights over. It is super densely packed with loot, super densely packed with players, but just to mention it, the security checkpoint on the eastern side of the lobby up here, this has breachable doors for you to enter it. It is like 3-4 floors of actual loot. It goes across as well across a bridge. There's a lot of good stuff in here because it all counts as a breachable door area, and it's definitely worth doing. The problem is that a lot of people know about this area at this point, so you're gonna have a lot of sort of contest for the loot. If that's something that you are willing to deal with, it's worth it. Otherwise, there is one other spot that I want to call out on this map that is much less contested, and that's right over here in the sort of middle. There is a breachable door at this location. This leads to like a little staff room type section. There's a bunch of stuff in here that you can loot, potential med bag spawns, grenade case spawns, a bunch of like little locker type things that you can open as well. It's just a very good little room in general. That said, that pretty much does it for today then, everyone. A bunch of lesser known high value loot areas or potential high value spawn locations, some that are a bit more known but I think everyone should be aware of regardless, and some really quite obscure stuff that I have never seen anyone talk about and I've never seen anyone actually go to in my own games, which I do imagine might change after this video, but hey, that's the nature of trying to share as much information as I can. I hope you've all enjoyed the video, and best of luck out there picking the whole world clean of anything valuable you can find. Like if you liked the video, subscribe to the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet. Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.